very good evening to you, dear viewers. It's exactly 6 p.m. Cairo local time. It's time for this English news bulletin coming to you out of Channel 2. This is Reem Tamer, and we begin with the headlines. President Abdel Sisi receives Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan. Global calls for Israel to scrap Gaza control plan. Ukrainian President Zelensky rejects formally ceding Ukrainian territory, says Kiev must be part of any negotiations. Welcome back. The news in full. President Abdel Sisi received the Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan in the attendance of Minister of Foreign Immigration and Expatriates Affairs Badr Abdelati. Presidential spokesman said that Turkish Foreign Minister extended greetings from President Recep Tayyip Erdogan to President Sisi. The meeting witnessed the mutual stress on the importance of activating economic cooperation between Egypt and Turkey. Talks also touched on regional issues, namely recent developments on the Gaza Strip, expressing full rejection to the military reoccupation of the Strip. The meeting also stressed on the importance of reaching an immediate ceasefire and to allow access of humanitarian aid into Gaza. They also stressed on the importance of releasing hostages, reiterating rejection to any displacement of Palestinians. The meeting also discussed developments in Libya, Syria, and Sudan, with President Sisi presenting Egypt's vision to achieve peace and stability fits in this regard. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Expatriates and Migration Badr Abdelati held talks with his visiting Turkish counterpart Hakan Fidan on Saturday in New Alamein city. During the bilateral and expanded talks, the two top diplomats discussed the Egyptian and Turkish ties and means of boosting these relations, regional and international issues of mutual concern, in addition to developments in Gaza. The two top diplomats also hold a joint press conference following the talks. Addressing the press conference, Abdelati said Egypt and Turkey agree on ways of dealing with regional crises. He also stressed that Egypt and Turkey are keen on joint coordination to support the security in the region. He also said that Egypt and Turkey agree on establishing a Palestinian state and reject forced displacement of Palestinians. He also reiterated that Egypt and Turkey support the unity and sovereignty of Syria, Libya, and Sudan. On his part, the Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan said that his country and Egypt achieved a remarkable economic cooperation, achieving trade exchange of $9 billion. He added that his country will ask the Organization of Islamic Conference to discuss the situation in Gaza during its next meeting. Egypt stressed its full rejection and condemnation to the Israeli plan to fully occupy Gaza Strip, which only aim at boosting the Israeli illegal occupation to the Palestinian territories and prevent the Palestinians from practicing their self-determination right forever. A foreign ministry statement said the Israeli steps are a continuation of the flagrant violation of the international law, which will only lead to more bloodshed and regional tension and hatred. Egypt also called on the international community to shoulder its political responsibility and to act fast to stop the Israeli arrogance, asserting the two-state solution is the only way to achieve Middle East peace. The Muslims Council of Elders, chaired by Grand Sheikh of Al-Azhar Ahmad al-Tayyib, condemned the Israeli government's decision to occupy Gaza Strip, stressing that such decisions represent a flagrant violation of the rights of Palestinian people and stand against peace and finding a fair and comprehensive solution for the Palestinian question. In a statement, the Muslim Council of Elders stressed that the continuation of the occupation's provocative activities and violations against the Palestinians and the continuation continuation of killings, starvation policies, and attempts of forced displacement warn of grave repercussions that threaten peace and security in the region and worldwide. The Council also called on global humanitarian consciousness to work in an urgent way to reach ceasefire in Gaza Strip, protect innocent civilians, and to bear its legal, moral, and humanitarian responsibility. Hamas denounced the Israeli government's plan as a new war crime that the occupation army intends to commit against Gaza and warned that the operation would cost it dearly. It added that it threatens the life of 1 million Palestinians. The movement stressed that what has been decided by the Israeli Ministerial Council is considered a continuation of the policy of genocide and forced displacement, warning occupation that controlling Gaza City will not be easy. It added that Israel doesn't care about its hostages. Hamas pointed that this move explains Israel's withdrawal of the latest negotiation round that was very near to reach a settlement. It held the United States full responsible for Israel's crimes as a result of its political and military support for Israel. Palestinian presidency spokesperson Nabil Abu Rudaina said that the U.S. has the ability to stop the war immediately and seriously, as it is the first supporter of Israel occupation. Abu Rudaina stressed the necessity that Washington bears its responsibility towards ending the war, allowing humanitarian aid and establishing a Palestinian state on the borders of 1967. He added that asking the support of the UN Security Council is a necessity to continue international and Arab pressure on the occupation, and the U.S. also to stop the war on the Strip in order not to use its veto against any resolution or draft resolution in favor of Palestinian state. Nations around the world condemned Israel's plan to seize control of Gaza City, saying it would only worsen the conflict and lead to more bloodshed. United Nations, European Commission, Iran, China, Germany, France, Canada, Turkey, Spain, Saudi Arabia, and Jordan also condemned the Israeli move. We have the details in the next report. Israel's plan to seize control of Gaza City, saying it would only worsen the conflict and lead to more bloodshed. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres said Israel's plan was a dangerous escalation that risked worsening conditions for ordinary Palestinians. European Commission Chief Ursula von der Leyen said the Israeli government's decision to further extend its military operation in Gaza must be reconsidered. European Council President Antonio Costa warned that such a decision must have consequences for EU-Israel ties. Iran's Foreign Ministry spokesman Ismail Baqai said Israel's plan was another clear sign of the Zionist regime's specific intention to ethnically cleanse Gaza and commit genocide against the Palestinians. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson said Gaza belongs to the Palestinian people and is an inseparable part of the Palestinian territory. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz said it was increasingly difficult to understand how the Israeli military plan would help achieve legitimate aims. France's foreign ministry said in a statement posted to social media that such actions would constitute further serious violations of international law and lead to a complete dead end. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney said, "We join many others in viewing that this is wrong, that this action is not going to contribute to an improvement in the humanitarian situation on the ground." He reaffirmed Canada's intention to recognize Palestine as a state next month at the UN General Assembly, along with Britain and France. Turkish Foreign Ministry statement called on the international community to fulfill its responsibilities to prevent the implementation of this decision, which aims to forcibly displace Palestinians from their own land. Spanish Foreign Minister José Manuel Alvarez firmly condemned the decision of the Israeli government to escalate the military occupation of Gaza. It will only cause more destruction and suffering. Saudi Arabia's Foreign Ministry said that Riyadh categorically condemns its persistence in committing crimes of starvation, brutal practices, and ethnic cleansing against the brotherly Palestinian people. A statement issued by the Jordana's royal court said King Abdullah condemned the move which undermines the two-state solution and the rights of the Palestinian people. The United Nations Security Council will meet on Saturday to discuss the situation in the Middle East, according to its scheduled release on Friday, after Israel's Security Cabinet has approved a plan to take control of Gaza City. Ambassador Riyad Mansour, a permanent observer of the State of Palestine to the United Nations, earlier on Friday said a number of countries would be requesting a meeting of the UN Security Council on Israel's plan. On the ground, 9 Palestinians were killed, including 8 of humanitarian aid seekers, and scores were wounded in south and center of Gaza Strip. Sources said 6 Palestinians were killed, including a child. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky dismissed Saturday the planned summit between U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin, warning that any peace deal excluding Kiev would lead to dead solutions. The Trump-Putin meeting, scheduled for Friday in Alaska, is seen as a potential breakthrough. Trump had previously agreed to meet with Putin, even if the Russian leader would not meet with Zelensky, stoking fears Ukraine could be sidelined in efforts to stop the continent's biggest conflict since World War II. In a statement posted to Telegram, Zelensky said Ukraine's territorial integrity, enshrined in the constitution, must be non-negotiable, and emphasized that lasting peace must include Ukraine's voice at the table. Russian President Vladimir Putin held consultations with the leaders of China and India to seek support ahead of the summit with Trump, who has spent his first months in office trying to broker peace in Ukraine without making a breakthrough. Chinese President Xi Jinping expressed support for a long-term solution to the conflict. China's state news agency quoted Xi as having told Putin, "China is glad to see Russia and the United States maintain contact, improve their relations, and promote a political settlement of the Ukraine crisis." China has portrayed itself as neutral party in the conflict, never denouncing the offensive or calling for Russia to withdraw. Moving to the world of business and finance, the Canadian economy lost thousands of jobs in July, sinking the share of people employed in the population to an 8-month low. Statistics Canada said the unemployment rate, however, remained steady but at a multi-year high level of 6.9%. The economy shed 40,800 jobs in July, as against a net addition of 83,000 jobs in June, taking the employment rate, or the percentage of people employed out of the total working-age population, to 60.7%. It was the lowest rate since the pandemic, and the loss of jobs was concentrated amongst permanent employees. Germany said that China came close to overtaking the United States as the country's largest trading partner in the first half of 2025, as German exports to the U.S. declined amid higher tariffs. German imports and exports with the U.S. totaled about 125 billion euros from January to June, while trade with China reached 122.8 billion euros. The U.S. had overtaken China as Germany's top trading partner in 2024, ending an 8-year streak for China. The shift came as Germany sought to reduce its reliance on China, with Berlin citing political differences and accusing Beijing of unfair practices. Trade dynamics shifted again, however, in 2025, with U.S. President Donald Trump's return to the White House and renewed tariffs. This brings us to the end of this English News Bulletin. Came to you out of Channel 2. That was Dream Tamer. Now it's time to say thank you for watching.